നമസ്കാരം. എല്ലാ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട പ്രേക്ഷകർക്കും മാതൃഭൂമി ന്യൂസിലേക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്ന് വളരെ നിർണായകമായ ഒരു തീരുമാനം കേരള മന്ത്രിസഭാ യോഗം എടുത്തിരിക്കുകയാണ്. സംസ്ഥാനത്തെ സർവകലാശാലകളുടെ ചാൻസലർ പദവിയിൽ നിന്ന് ഗവർണർ ആരിഫ് മുഹമ്മദ് ഖാനെ മാറ്റാൻ ഓർഡിനൻസ് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ മന്ത്രിസഭാ യോഗം തീരുമാനിച്ചിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ആ ഓർഡിനൻസിൽ ഗവർണർ, ചാൻസലർ കൂടിയായ ഗവർണർ ഒപ്പിടുമോ? എന്ത് നടപടിയായിരിക്കും അദ്ദേഹം സ്വീകരിക്കുക? എന്തായിരിക്കും ഈ സർക്കാർ ഗവർണർ പോരിന് ഒരു അവസാനമുണ്ടാകുക? നമുക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തോട് തന്നെ ചോദിക്കറിയാം. നമ്മോടൊപ്പം ഇപ്പോൾ ഗവർണർ ആരിഫ് മുഹമ്മദ് ഖാൻ തത്സമയം ചേരുകയാണ്. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
As we speak, at this moment, right now, you are the chancellor of all the universities in the state. But today, the cabinet decided to change you from the chancellorship today. So, how do you see it? As to an ordinance?
They have every right to do whatever they want to
So,
do.
will you sign the ordinance?
Why? For that, you are saying they have already taken the decision?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Do they need my help?
No, they need your help to sign that.
Acha. and they expect that I will be helping them in their illegal activities.
No, that is bringing an ordinance is not illegal, no, sir.
Eh?
Bringing an
If you want to erode the autonomy of the university, the Honorable Supreme Court is saying that the state government has no role in the appointment of vice chancellors.
That is in the case of vice chancellor, but here the ordinance.
So if the judgment is not ready to accept the role of the state government in the appointment of the vice chancellor, then they will have nominee of the state government as the chancellor. Will that be acceptable? Will that not be repugnant to the UGC regulations?
So you won't sign it.
First, let it come to me. If they, one thing is certain, that because they are targeting me, therefore I won't like to be judge in my own cause.
You will seek.
No, they will have to brief me.
Okay. You'll consider
Last bills which are pending with me, despite my writing to them, you need to brief me. I have certain queries to make.
That's why you haven't signed that amendments.
It is not question of that is why. I can only give you the events as they are. Bills come to me, I look at them, I find some inconsistencies, I find something which according to my view, contradicts with the constitutional provisions. Therefore, I write to them, you need to come here, and even otherwise it is your duty, constitutional requirement, to brief me on a regular basis. You have never done that.
You always
Despite
have that
repeated reminders, you have failed to do it. But if you want me to consider this signing, come and explain to me the provisions. Satisfy my queries.
Yes,
They have never done it.
Okay.
So I do not know if they will come to brief me about, or they are just doing it for the optical purposes.
Anyway, the ball is in your court right now. Last December, I think it was during the reappointment issue of the Kannur VC.
Yes.
You told that you are ready to give away the chancellorship. Let the CM take the chancellor. Then what?
Not only that, for 30 days,
Yeah, I know that.
I did not allow any file relating to the universities. Every file which came here, I immediately sent it to the Chief Minister's office.
Then Chief Minister came,
Not only came, he wrote 3 letters which I rejected. I want to confront him with those letters which he has written. And the 4th letter, mind it, 4th letter, a senior officer of the government of Kerala at that time, now retired, comes here with the draft and says, you make amendments as you like, but he says that you will have to continue as chancellor. I made the amendments in the draft. Then it was retyped. He put his signature there. Even today they are fully aware that any such arrangement will not be acceptable either to the academic world, which are very, very jealous about the autonomy of the universities. It will not be in accordance with the UGC regulations. What they are doing doing it only. The last bill, they know that it goes against the UGC regulations. Therefore, so many months have passed. They have not come to brief me, despite my asking them to go. So they are not doing. These are not serious things.
Their complaint is that you are not signing it.
I will not sign unless you come and brief me. and respond to my queries. There is no way you can make me sign. But I'm giving you an opportunity. Why don't you come?
Okay, so I'm assuming that if CM comes here and briefs you about
And if satisfies, because I will show these, why you
Letters.
had written these letters. What is the worth of that? Have you any sense of honor?
there is another moral issue. And you didn't want to continue. Then why you?
I did not want to continue after the judgment of the Supreme. I'm saying, na, I'm not going to be judge in my own cause. They are targeting me. Therefore, I would never like to be judge in my own cause.
Then who will be the judge?
Honorable President of India.
You will send it to President.
If the queries which I make, because we have to, why the office of governor is there? To see that the measures which are adopted by legislative assembly are not riddled with provisions which are inconsistent with the constitutional provision. That is my purpose. Ultimately, it is the responsibility of the honorable courts, senior judiciary, to they have a right to review it judicially. But at the primary stage, it is the duty of the governor to satisfy himself that whatever assembly adopts is not inconsistent with the provisions of the constitution.
But the chancellor position is not a constitutional
I
chair.
am not talking about this. I am talking any measure adopted by Kerala Assembly.
So what if the same assembly or the same government doesn't want the?
It's okay. That is why I am saying that I will. If they first of all, I have not seen the bill, so I do not know what is there. But if, as you are, have they announced it officially?
A press release came.
Okay. Then let the bill come to me. I will study it, and if I come to the conclusion that this is a measure to target me, then I will not sit in judgment.
You want a reason why? You want to know.
No. I have to satisfy myself whether I am the target or the target is something else. If I am the target, then I would like to sit in judgment. I will immediately refer the matter to Honorable President.
Okay. There are many issues going on with the government.
Like?
The Vice Chancellor issues.
Vice Chancellor is the only issue. What other issue is there?
It's these issues between
Like?
the Rajbhavan and the government.
No, what? Give me one instance.
It's become political actually.
Tell me what are the issues, why it has become political? What are the issues other than Vice Chancellor?
One day you will speak, the next day the CM will speak.
No.
Been
This is not right. This is not right. This is not right. You are going to you were going to appoint the relative of your private secretary in the Kannur University, and the candidate was underqualified. Even UGC had given affidavit. Had I the duty to stop it or not? I stayed it.
You did, and you did. Okay, I'm not asking.
What else I have done? Now they wanted me to appoint. They recommended the name of somebody who did not have the required qualifications to be appointed as Vice Chancellor for interim arrangement at the KTU. Therefore, I do not even know the person who has been appointed. I met him for the first time yesterday. But I gave instructions that strictly UGC regulations are to be followed even in the appointment of the acting Vice Chancellor. Though this will be only for few months, but we are not going to violate the UGC regulations. They want man of their choice so that he can be used to appoint their relatives in the university. How many cases are pending in the courts? Senior leaders of CPM? Other than the universities, tell me one issue where I have, there is any ground, there is any issue between them and me?
One second.
Statutorily, universities are by responsibilities till the statutes are changed. They are interfering in my work or I am interfering in their work?
If today cabinet decided to take away your chancellorship, but they also decided that CM won't take, the ministers won't be the chancellor, but some prominent eminent personalities from the education field will be the chancellor, a separate chancellor for all the universities.
It's okay. I have not seen it, so I won't.
No, how do you see that?
I don't cover unless I see something. How can I comment on the basis?
No,
because
what I'm saying is none of the politicians or nobody from the government will be the chancellor.
This you are saying on the basis of the announcement which has been made. I can give you by tomorrow the public speech made by the chief minister and then press release which they have issued of the same meeting. They are totally different. Means he will use abusive language in his speech, and when it comes to release, then they will amend it. I am getting it prepared. I will give you by day after tomorrow.
So, how do you see? If not, suppose if
no. First, you tell me what is the issue other than the universities. University is responsibility of the chancellor,
yes,
or of the chief minister.
It is the duty of the chancellor only.
Then who is interfering in whose work?
Maybe that's why they are taking the chancellorship away from you.
So how can you say that it has become political? It is becoming political because you are interfering in my work. After writing to me in black and white that you shall not interfere.
Kerala is not the first state to do that. In 2013,
I am not going to discuss other states. I am going to discuss myself. I have already said, if they can give one instance where he made the charge. He said he is trying to run parallel administration. I said, you give one instance and I will resign. But also let me know, if you are not able to substantiate your charge, what you will do. They are totally unscrupulous people.
I think
you can't give one single instance. I have challenged you 5 days back. Give one instance where I have tried to interfere in the administration. They are not able to give even one instance. And they are saying, I am trying to run parallel administration. Parallel administration, why? Because I am not allowing you to interfere in the universities anymore.
If chancellor,
I ask you, why people in Kerala are so excited about this? Will you deny this?
The talk is about this only.
Why they are so excited? After all, if they are so, day before yesterday when I came from Kochi, when I entered the cabin, all the passengers stood up and started congratulating. Why?
Maybe they think you are going against, doing the right things. You see.
What they said, this old lady in Delhi, at the meeting which was organized by World Malayali Federation, she comes before, I was mobbed after the meeting. She comes here with white hair. I just want to touch your feet. I caught hold of her hands, placed them on my head. I said, I need your blessing. She said, now I see some hope of improvement in the university. Where is the politics? Politics will be if I try to, you have made this statement. I said, give one instance where I have tried to interfere. Give one instance during last, you are repeatedly saying BJP, RSS agenda. 3 years, if I made any single appointment of any person belonging to these organizations. What they are totally irresponsible, I am saying it, totally without any sense of moral values. Feel no hesitation in indulging, spreading untruth. People who can use, who believe in use of violence, who consider violence as a legitimate means to attain political objectives, they can go to any extent.
Why I said it has become political is that you bring out the gold smuggling case, the old Talasheri.
I am only asking a question. Why every scam ultimately leads to the doorstep of the office of the chief minister? Was his private secretary involved in it or not? Is his present political secretary, if his relative is being appointed, underqualified, then is he exerting some pressure or not? So every wrong thing, illegal thing, ultimately is traced to the office of the chief minister. I am raising this question. Why is it so? Should he not take moral responsibility that his staff is involved in these things?
No, but in the gold smuggling issue, all the central agencies are probing it, but none of have got anything against the CM till now. They've been
They are investigating it?
Yeah.
You have read their reports?
Not the final reports, but they've been investigating for more than 1 year right now.
So, the main accused at that time was, as I have been told,
Yes.
main accused was hoping to receive some help from the collaborators. That is help. Therefore, at that time, all details were not given out. When she lost the hope, then she gave all the details.
But do you think we should believe an accused person and her stories and her book?
Can we ignore that the main my secretary, person whom I appoint as minister, is considered alter ego of the minister? Can he do things without? Can he do anything without my knowledge? I'm asking.
So you believe that?
It's not question of belief. It's question of facts.
Then what
His main officer in his office was sacked for involvement in that racket or not.
Yes, he was.
So he is such a weak person that he does not even take care of his own staff. Is he entitled to leadership? A person who cannot keep an eye on his personal staff, can he take care? He can take care of his personal staff. He can take care of the state.
So you think a prop should be there?
No, I am not. I am only saying in response to your question. Your question is that you think, no, I am not. I am not saying anything. I am saying his main person in his office, was he involved or not?
He was.
If he was involved without his knowledge, then it means he can't take care of even his personal staff. How can you trust him in other matters?
But if we go by that story, then in the Swapna Suresh also accused the former ministers.
I am not going into that. Going on the basis of facts. Fact is that I do not remember the designation, but the man who was running his office was the man who arranged job for this lady. He was sacked. Is that a fact or not?
It is a fact.
It is a fact. If all these things were happening without if they were happening with your knowledge, you are involved. If they were happening without your knowledge, it means you are totally incapable, incompetent person. You can't take care of even your personal stuff.
This is why I said it's not only about university issue. It's become political.
If you will every day hold out threat to me, you will say governor will have to face dire consequences. Who uses this language? Mafia. Dire consequences. Look at the English dictionary. What dire consequence means? Consequence one can understand. There may be legal consequences, there may be constitutional consequences, political consequences, but dire consequences is not the language which is used. It is used by mafia. I am dealing with mafia. And sometimes You have to speak the language which they understand.
You're calling the state government mafia.
What do you mean? Who will use the word dire consequences? They are threatening me. Who threatens? It is mafia who threatens. Who wants to silence you? Who wants you to abstain from doing your duty? Has he said or not said that he will have to suffer dire consequences?
Yes, a march is also being planned on 15th.
Most welcome. My request is, don't come on 15th. Come on a day when I'm here. Come on 12th, 11th. And barge if you can. Don't barge into Raj Bhavan. You tell me where I should come. I will come there. Because you want me to face dire consequences, I am ready to face dire consequences.
And don't you think there should be a full stop to all this,
Who will put a full stop? If I am interfering in their work, I will put a full stop. They are interfering in my work. How can I put full stop there? How can I put full stop there? If every day, are you not aware that every university vice chancellor was taking instructions from a syndicate member who was nominated by the chief minister's office? Are you not aware? I am telling you, they have no sense of honor. He writes to me, we will not interfere, and give some other instructions to the university. Have you ever heard chancellor asking the vice chancellors to submit their resignations in the light of the judgment given by Honorable Supreme Court? I am showing them, suggesting an honorable way out. Next day news appears, LDF has directed the vice chancellors not to resign. What LDF has got to do with vice chancellors? Does it not expose them?
And the Supreme Court direction was only in the KTU.
Have you read the judgment?
But the case was.
Have you read the judgment? Supreme Court judgment, always remember, Supreme Court judgment lays down law, even High Court judgment lays down law, unless it is challenged and reversed. If any judgment of the High Court goes unchallenged, then it becomes law for the land. Supreme Court judgment becomes law of the land. In that judgment, Honorable Supreme Court has said, the process of selection, if only one name has been recommended, then appointment becomes void ab initio. They have not discussed the Vice Chancellor of the KTU. They have discussed the process of selection. If there is a non-presence of a non-academic in the selection committee, here every selection committee, Chief Secretary was present.
I saw that.
So they have pointed out these two things.
The selection procedure.
Their selection process. Now when I look at the other universities, everyone suffers from the same deficiency. Then is it my duty or not my duty that if Supreme Court has laid down a law, I should apply that law to the universities which come under my jurisdiction? Am I duty bound or not duty bound?
Yes.
This is not correct to say that it is about KTU. They have, because they have relied on the judgment which has been given in the case of West Bengal University. They have relied on a case where judgment has been given in the case of a Gujarat University. How can you say it is only about KTU? What those judgments have got to do if it is only about KTU? It is law of the land. Unless Parliament decides Parliament has the right to decide to make amendments in the Act or in the rules And then judgment becomes, because judgment is always based on existing laws. If you change the law, then the application of that judgment becomes, gets diluted.
I'm sure you're aware about the issues happening in the Trivandrum Corporation. I guess the BJP councillors met you. You have seeked the details about the SCST allocation also. How do you see it, and did you...
I'm not surprised at all, because I have already said, here the government is of the cadre, by the cadre, for the cadre, not for people of Kerala.
That's a new slogan, I guess.
Yes. Government by the cadre, of the cadre, for the cadre. Keralites are almost, in fact, when they decide to go to other states seeking jobs, they have accepted the fact that to them jobs will not be available in Kerala. They have resigned to this situation.
How do you plan to act in this?
No.
You can't, you are not.
The only way I can act is, because apart from my oath, defending, protecting, preserving the Constitution, there is, and law, there is another part of my oath, which says, I shall serve the interest of the people of Kerala to the best of my ability. And in matters, for instance, this where the personal staff of the ministers becomes entitled to lifelong pension, I find it horrible, absolutely repugnant to moral conscience. But I do not have the legal power. Then what do? I will let the people of Kerala know that this is how your funds are being used to run the parties. Not for your welfare, for the welfare of the party cadre.
How do you intend to do that, to let people know?
No, I'm talking to you. And I think this message, that is the reason why even when I am passing through the road, if I stop the car, they all gather there. Because people had lost the hope. Now they see at least some voice is being raised.
Okay.
Make an honest survey of the social media. It is not media who counts today. The social media also counts greatly. What people who do not have any interest, who do not have the question of TRP, what they are saying.
You watch social media?
I do not. I do not watch even TV. But there are people who do it and they keep me regularly updated.
And what
From
is the response
Delhi.
you get?
Oh, tremendous. They are saying that they had never expected, they were a bit worried day before yesterday. And now they are saying, it looks like total excitement.
What was it day before yesterday?
When I spoke, day before yesterday, or when I asked the Kerala and media
I was about
so
to
they
ask
were a bit, they were not, I told them, sometime you have to speak in a language which person to whom you are addressing understands. If you say things which is beyond that person's understanding, you are wasting your time, you are wasting their time. Kerala and media they believe in legitimacy of violence. They had to be told in a assertive tone, go away from it. And I did not say that get out. I said either you go out or I go out.
But you know,
I did not order them. I said it's a matter of choice. Other media, if they want to talk to me, either they go out or I go out. Please go out.
But they sought the permission, they got the permission, they cleared the security check.
Because the senior most person from Kerala spoke to official in Raj Bhavan and persuaded him and told him that what has happened will not happen again. He was somehow, they succeeded in persuading him. Without my permission, he agreed to their request. My question is, why, if I had already Kochi was not the first place. Even before that, I had said I will not talk to Kerala.
But that was a press conference here. But that is a public place, right, in Cochin?
No, no, no. That was inside the rest house. That was inside the rest house, not public place.
It was a state guest house.
The state guest, inside. That too, not on the outside, inside.
But still, you know, after getting invited, after coming, they're clearing.
No. I'm going out. I don't want to talk to you. I won't make a distinction between CPM and Kerala, between Jamaat-e-Islami and Media One. They have a. Your channel has not criticized me. I'm talking to you. Other channels have not criticized. I'm ready to talk to anybody. But those who have a bias and prejudice, and those who believe in violence, legitimacy of violence, I'm not going to talk.
In the Shabanu case, you throw away the ministership because you believe in the women's rights. In Cochin, the Media One reporter was a female.
She is being used.
She
is being used by them. How can I say anything to the? Why only Shabanu?
No, I just.
What is my total? What is
I know
my
that.
track
I know
record?
that. You always give
On women's issue, I am always ready to go to any extent. Here, woman is not the issue. She is being merely used by the Media One. They are the people. If they have the upper hand, they won't allow a woman to become TV reporter. Today the situation is not under their control. Therefore, they indulge in deceptive practices. Have you ever read Maulana Maududi? Their founder. Total violence.
But it's a media organization.
There are very many media organizations, social media there is, which is run by the terrorists. Will you accept it?
No. Are you calling the mainstream to one media channel?
Though anybody who believes in the legitimacy of violence to attain political end, that is the definition of terrorism. What is the definition of terrorism? When you use violence, when you use violent language, when you use pressure tactics to attain your political ends, that is what terrorism is. Here, you are seeing every day dire consequences. He does not know who I am. I made inquiries, I found out who he is, and I shared it with others. You only exhorted me to find out about it.
What did you find out?
I have already told you that you have been, this is your old habit. You wanted to use force to secure release of a comrade who was accused of murder. I found this out.
You always been very critical when about the Kadakkupurathu statement made by the CM. No, these both issues.
No, these two I do not consider the media. They are not media. They are the publicity wings of CPM and Jamaat Islam.
But then there are also mouthpieces of other parties.
So I have no problem. I did not have, my problem is not because what ideology they belong to. The manner in which they have distorted, rather replaced the written word. My tweet, nowhere word criticism has been used. I said any minister, this is not about common people. Everybody is free to criticize. But can a minister criticize the chief minister publicly? Can you criticize the MD of your organization? Can you publicly? Whatever you may say, whatever you like, if you are in his room. But can you criticize publicly your MD? They are the Johnnies who have been appointed by me on the recommendation of the chief minister, and they are taking liberties with the head of the state. Can you take that liberty with the Chief Minister? Chief Minister, you cannot dare criticize without resigning. And head of the state is such a light thing that you will criticize him publicly. How can you accept it? I said about that, only specific to ministers, that if they indulge in these, then I shall withdraw my pleasure. And they are saying that I am shutting out, cancelling out people because they are criticizing. Criticism word is not there in that tweet. You do not have right to put words in my mouth if you claim to be media. But you are not media. You are publicity wing of a party which believes in the legitimacy of violence.
Lastly, we always talk about the constitution, how we should uphold it. Let's come to the chancellorship again. The chancellor chair is not bound by the constitution. That's simply the government gives you that responsibility or duty. If they don't want you to continue there.
So I'm saying that I want to continue?
No, you didn't say you will sign it.
No. I have said I won't sit in judgment. I don't want to be judged in my own. First, I will see what the text is, what the provisions are. If I come to the conclusion that this has been proposed only to target me, then I will refer it to Honorable President. Because I can't sit in judgment, can't be a judge in my own cause.
The other amendments are pending.
But remember that Constitution is naturally for us, any country, particularly for us, the first duty mentioned in the Constitution itself is to abide by the Constitution, respect its institution. But there is another thing also, which is called conventions which have developed over a period of time. And the convention is world over, not just in India, that autonomy of the universities must be respected. And there should be no executive interference in the functioning of the university. You can say that central universities, appointments are made, there also chancellors are appointed. They are not appointed by the government. They are appointed by the visitor, who is President of India. Education Ministry does not appoint them. This convention is so, I had to give you on a platter. Why did you not accept it? You did not accept because you fully know UGC will not accept it. The academic world will not accept it. Therefore, you begged me to continue as Chancellor. And I agreed only when you gave...
In writing.
No, 3 letters before that came. But there was some if and but there. I said, I'm not acceptable. And then you gave me an unqualified guarantee. There will be no... Have you any sense of honor?
So that is your decision?
Any sense of moral values? Any respect for your own word? But I've already told, those who believe in the legitimacy of violence, they are unscrupulous people.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.